We will also soon send federal law enforcement to other cities that need help. One of them is Albuquerque, New Mexico, where last fall, 55-year-old Jackie Vigil was murdered as she was getting into her car.
You almost know that something is up because, one, the president's talking about Albuquerque, which doesn't usually happen. That voice was explicitly articulating a sort of gaslighting strategy against immigrants and people of color and protesters in progressive Democrat cities.
Federal agents will be on their way to Albuquerque, and we're joined now by the New Mexico Governor, Lujan Grisham. Governor, thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, George. Nice to see you.
You know, we just heard from Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, who talked about Operation Legend, said he sounded like he was willing to take you up on your offer to work together to fight crime, distinguish the program of sending Operation Legend from what's going on in Portland right now. Are you prepared to sit down with him, and will you withdraw any threats to sue the federal government?
Well, the issue about making sure that New Mexicans, that their civil rights are protected is forefront for everything that we do every day. So that stands less of a litigation threat, but a re-recognition that we are going to put New Mexicans first. I've already spoken with the U.S. Attorney assigned, Mr. Anderson, and made it really clear that if we've got 35 agents, they will be COVID safe, they will quarantine, they will integrate into the operations that we already have. He certainly gave me every indication that he's willing to do that. The interesting thing here is that we've asked for federal agents to cooperate with us in any number of strategies. They have not provided the federal funding that was promised to Albuquerque for police and crime interventions. And earlier in this administration, they closed down Border Patrol checkpoints, and we had to cover those with state police. So the timing of their efforts remains to be a bit suspect. But to your question, if we are cooperatively working to address violent crime and gun violence, absolutely. If we're going to try to incentivize unrest, then that's something altogether different.
It comes at a time when the Trump campaign is running a series of ads, including in New Mexico, about the issue of crime. Let's take a look.
You have reached the 911 police emergency line. Due to defunding of the police department, we're sorry, but no one is here to take your call. Leave your name and number, and someone will get back to you. Our estimated wait time is currently 5 days. Goodbye.
Says Joe Biden supporters are fighting to defund police. You won't be safe in Joe Biden's America. Your response?
Outrageous. It's really terrible that we're going to have an election 100 days out instead of talking about what people really want us to address, right? They want to know what we're going to do about public health and healthcare. They want to know about economic security. They want to talk about how we unify this country. And instead, if you're looking at defunding police, again, Albuquerque is missing, I think, about $9.6 million from the Trump administration as a direct investment in both police investments, so that we've got enough officers doing the right preventative work on the streets, and simultaneously, we're doing a ton of good, productive, proactive race relations work. So it is really about stoking fear. It isn't about, and there isn't anything else you can point to 100 days out where you've succeeded. The economy is in turmoil and in trouble. We can't do public health. We are in real crisis in terms of combating COVID-19. We are seeing a failure in leadership. So let's go to making people fearful. So it's disappointing, but frankly expected.
I do want to talk about that COVID crisis. I want to put up a chart right now showing what's happening in New Mexico. Your cases have been on the rise, a real spike right there. You had the highest cases of the year on Thursday. Hospitalizations and deaths are going up as well. I know you put a pause on reopening earlier this month, but is it time to do more?
We are very serious here. You can see that New Mexico for weeks was in the green in terms of being ready to reopen following CDC guidelines. One of the first states clearly to do a shutdown, to cancel schools, to mandate masks. But here's the problem. And you're right, we're seeing record high daily averages. We are actually seeing a reduction in hospitalizations, but our death count is still way too high. And these mortality issues, these are people's loved ones, right? Every single time I have to announce that we've lost someone in New Mexico, it is the most painful experience. We flattened the curve again in New Mexico, but the case count is way too high. And while we have one of the lowest positivity rates in the country, which we work diligently at having, what's going on around the country affects everyone in the country. We are moving and traveling. I've got commuters and workers and federal employees and bases. My goodness, in fact, in our corrections issues, it's been the movement of ICE detainees without testing them, without following New Mexico's COVID safe practices that brought COVID in to our corrections facilities. So we are at the mercy of what's going on around the country. No national strategy, no public health investment. It's a hoax that we're not going to invest. Wait way too long before you talk about either pausing, suspending. You've got the president now. We're not going to have a convention. That's not safe. But we want everyone to reopen schools immediately. Makes no sense whatsoever. Yep. There is no national strategy. I still spend most of my days chasing testing supplies for our state. It is the worst abdication of a national response and responsibility to protect Americans I've ever seen in my government career.
You also heard Mr. Meadows raising those concerns about mail-in voting, echoing the president as well. New Mexico has widespread mail-in voting. You don't have to give an excuse to get an absentee ballot. What are you doing to troubleshoot any potential problems with ballot security looking ahead to November?
You know, our Secretary of State, an incredibly professional, one of the well-known nationally, has been working on election security, including foreign interference. Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse-Oliver has built her entire career from being a county clerk to the Secretary of State at the checks and balances for all voting systems, including our mail-in ballots. We've made some minor adjustments in a special session, really getting at that when you sign those inner and outer ballots, that the chain of custody is very clear and very secure. It's the same kind of effort that we see in productive mail-in voting in other states, and we feel very confident here. I mean, your point earlier, the bigger issue is what are we doing about hacking systems, about the fact that we still have far too many jurisdictions that don't have a paper ballot, and that we have foreign election interference. If you really were worried about voter integrity and election integrity, these would be the areas that we would be focused on. Here, it seems to me like this is a false diversion because we're looking at voter suppression, not voter safeguards. Those are very different issues, and New Mexico feels incredibly confident about its current effort, and it will also prevent, to a much higher degree, the spread of COVID, which is foremost in our minds.
You've been mentioned as a possible running mate for Joe Biden. Have you been vetted by his team? Are you prepared to serve?
I will do whatever I can to improve any number of issues in this country and in our state. I'm lucky to be the governor of the best state in the United States, and I am flattered beyond measure that the Biden campaign understands that governing and governors are, I think, an important vehicle to look at how we make improvements in the country. I've only been in touch with the campaign, and while it's incredibly flattering, I've got a full-time job right here, right now.
Governor, thanks for your time this morning. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.